And it's time for us to talk consumer tech. And in the segment today, Philip Kofi Ashon has joined us. He is the head of TV production here at Citi TV and also the host of Citi Trends on 97.3 Citi FM. Good morning, Philip.
Well, good morning.
Yes. What's happening?
Well, it's been a very interesting couple of weeks within the tech space. Lots happening. Lots of devices being outdoored, clearly because, the COVID period is over. So the levels of consumer appetite are obviously rising. People are, it was rising, but it was mostly for essential goods. But now, it's extended into other sectors of people's lives. People are looking to purchase better TVs because obviously the viewing numbers went up. People are looking more into other things that they can do on the outdoors. So I just thought that today we just bring our viewers a sense of what has been happening within the tech space, just so people understand what's going on. And I think it's only fair that we start off from the COVID conversation because what has happened over the last couple of months has been life-changing for literally everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's changed the way we live, it's changed the way we communicate, it's changed the way life basically happens. And there's a lot that needs to be said for the authorities who are trying to help us be able to fight it. And also, I think it's incredible that the tech companies are also pitching in one way or the other. A couple of months ago, Google and Apple did something, I think it was in April, did something that we've never seen them do before, which is basically come together to agree on certain principles on how to track, people with, COVID or COVID patients, or places or locations that have a high, possibility of, you contracting COVID one way or the other. And so they basically agreed to build a system which was inside their operating system, whereby, initially, the initial stages suggested that countries and states and, other national health organizations could build, sort of like an app that was connected to it. So basically, what will happen is that if I have like the National Health Service or Ghana Health Service decides to build an app, which we had the COVID tracker app, for example, what will happen is that what Google and Apple will do is they will integrate whatever the nations and the states have into what they've built, which makes it easier in terms of the management of data and things like that. Because aside everything else, health data is very, very important and it needs to be protected in the best way possible. So what typically should happen is that there should be a layer where some level of protection for the person who's going to interact with the app, get some layer of protection. So what they thought about doing, at least the first phase, was to build sort of a system where you could connect into, and then that will help you with contact tracing. It will help, for example, when someone is closer to you, for you to get a notification that this person has been exposed, blah, blah, blah. The next phase of that was to build it into the operating system itself. So then it doesn't necessarily need the app from the state or from the country. And so they've done exactly that, which is the first phase. And there's a picture I just want us to see, just to see how these two basically work on the screen. We'll be seeing that in a bit. So basically what's happening now is if you are a country, if you are a health service, whatever, and you have sort of a national approval to basically put out an app that is supposed to be connected with COVID, your system will find a way to be fitted into what Google and Apple have developed, and we're just going to show you the notification. If you are someone who uses Apple, I'm sure the iOS 13.7 you should get it by now. The Google team should also have it, but we'll be coming to this particular device in just a bit. So we're going to go to the COVID. We're going to go to the COVID bit. So this is the COVID notification or exposure notification center. What you can see there is on the left is the Apple notification center and on the right is the Google notification center. And you can see there basically if you're a country, you basically plug your app into this. So in Ghana, the COVID tracker app COVID symptom tracker app will be plugged into this, or it's supposed to be plugged into something like this that allows, because user data is sensitive, it needs to be protected. It's a very key issue for these companies, these tech companies. And so what you're basically seeing here is how it will be manifested, and what you are going to get are notifications about. So, for example, if you show up at a place where possibly there is, some level of exposure because of either your gyroscope, which is built into your phone, or your Google location, your GPS and everything, it will be able to tell you, listen, this area you're in it's a hot spot. So, for example, if you're close to someone who probably has been exposed, you understand, you are most likely going to get a notification like this individual based on their health history from the National Health Service. You're going to get a notification that this person has been exposed or something. And so this is something that these two companies have decided to do. Like I said, the next phase of this is going to be the exposure notification is going to be built into the operating system. So it might not necessarily need an external app or whatever. It's going to basically be working from inside the device. But what I like about this is it not only does the notifications or gives you a sense of where you are regarding COVID, but then it also helps protect your data. So there's that layer of protection as well. I'm not exactly sure how Ghana's symptom tracker app is going to be fitted into all of this, but I mean, it remains to be seen. Let's just say it remains to be seen. So for me, this was one of the things that really caught my attention, and I think that it speaks to a lot of things. Key of them is when we are in a situation like this where we have no idea where we are headed, tech companies finding common ground to support the rest of the population, I think is fantastic. And to see them collaborate on this stuff, because there's very healthy competition between them. Sometimes it can be very divisive, sometimes it can be very brass, but it's nice to see them lay their cards on the table and decide that, listen, there's a bigger goal ahead of us and find a way to collaborate. So kudos to the two companies, Google. I mean, they are the two biggest operating companies who develop operating systems for mobile devices. So it kind of makes sense for them to collaborate on that level. So kudos to them. It's great to see. So that's the first one in terms of tech updates in case you may have missed it. Don't worry too much if you don't necessarily see it being manifested on your phone, obviously, because there are a few deficiencies here down in Ghana, but I'm sure with time, there will be better integration. The second one is more of a lifestyle, hopefully bringing you a bit of cheer. And we saw glimpses of that earlier, which is something that Samsung actually unveiled this morning. I was part of the global launch. I mean, I just watched it this morning. I just decided to update our viewers. So Samsung released a number of lifestyle devices. So basically talking about, for example, changes with your refrigerator. So typically you have a refrigerator that just sits there, it's plugged in, but now it's integrated with cameras, and it's integrated with all manner of sensors where it's able to judge how much food you have and send you a reminder and things like that. Lots of things. So there's a refrigerator bit, there's a washing machine bit as well with all manner of innovations. There is actually something that sits in your wardrobe that sort of removes some of, sometimes when clothes are kept in wherever you keep your clothes, enclosed spaces, it tends to develop mold and things like that. So Samsung has basically built a device that's able to keep the freshness of the clothes.
A dehumidifier.
Exactly, a dehumidifier. So basically that's also one of the things. But one of the things that for me personally, and this is a personal thing, and I'm just bringing an update on this, is something they call the Premiere.
The Premiere.
So what Samsung basically did, they showcased 5 televisions, So they had what they call the Serif. They have the Frame. The Frame was actually showcased much earlier at CES. It's a huge screen that literally covers your entire wall. They have the Zero, and then they have the Terrace. The Terrace is actually a TV. The Terrace is a TV that's actually built to be outside. It's actually built to be outside. So what we're seeing now is what they call the Premiere. And the Premiere is basically a 4K enabled projector. It's a laser projector. Now, you see how typically your projector will be sitting in at some distance, and it will be shooting the visuals, on some wall. Basically, this you can literally put against the wall, and it projects wherever you are. So, I mean, we're looking at the pictures now. Exactly. So you see where it's placed now. It's literally underneath the screen. So this artist basically places his projector to the wall, and you are basically watching.
So you don't need to do that distance.
You don't need to put and then away, shifting it and trying to see if you can get. It's literally sitting against the wall and it's projecting onto the wall. And what is really remarkable is that it's, first of all, it's laser driven, and also the resolution levels are up to 4K resolution. So you're getting HD. You're getting like literally. I mean, this is a family watching TV. I mean, it was interesting for me because Samsung releases like 5 TVs and then they release a device that doesn't need a TV, and you are basically getting 4K level resolution, which a lot of TVs today probably a lot of homes don't even have. So I mean, it's literally placed against the wall. And you can see that. So this is the projector in action, as you can see people watching, Iron, yes, I think it's Spider-Man at some point. It's literally against the wall. You can see it there. I mean, it's in 4K. It's a projector that projects in 4K. Incredible. I don't know how many people have projectors that even projects in 1080p It's that incredible. And it's interesting that they do that because, like I said, appetites are beginning to rise again. Over the period, people are getting back to normal.
But if appetites are rising, I hope the incomes too will be rising. Because
that one is out of our hands. That one is out of our hands. But so this is the latest one. As you already know, last 2 weeks, Samsung basically outdoored a slew of mobile devices. And as I was saying a couple of weeks ago, this is all part of the ecosystem conversation that you're talking about. So they give us, the 5 devices that they launched. Yesterday, there was an event on the Galaxy Fold, and then today, these are another set of lifestyle devices or home devices that typically, so just imagine all these home devices. Your TV is connected to your fridge, it's connected to your washing machine, now it's connected to your phone, it's connected to your watch, it's connected to your tablet. All these things coming together into that ecosystem mindset, so you have one device and you can literally control everything in your home or around you to the point that you can actually even, to a certain level, control your vehicle, whereby you don't need your car keys. You just literally tap it and you're good to go. And that is a sort of world and mindset that I believe some of these, device manufacturers are looking at. So this is just
pretty incredible.
Just one bit of the bigger picture. You've had the devices, the phones, the watch, the tablet, everything coming, all the razzmatazz. Now you have these lifestyle TV, washing machine, fridge, all these things coming together, projector as well. And I can imagine we're going to be seeing quite a number of other devices, that are going to be coming up from these device manufacturers. Exactly. Over the period, it's clear that people have been working. Some people have been working while others have been sleeping, and it's nice to see all these innovations. The last one, though, I'm not sure if we have too much time, but the last one is a video that I caught wind of yesterday. It's called SkyDrive. Now, this is basically the very first vehicle that is not just a vehicle that flies, but then that can rise vertically. So typically you need to taxi before you take off, but this is a vehicle that literally from zero basically just rises up.
That's like
into the air. It's something.
That's like a storybook.
It's something from a sci-fi movie. But this is the reality now. I don't know if we can be able to see the video.
Let's take a look at that.
Let's take a look at the video then. Let's take a look at the video. For me, it's just incredible.
So there's a person sitting inside.
Yeah, there's a person. I mean, it's your car. Like, it's supposed to be your car, right? So it's
like a large drone.
It's literally your car, and
you see the propellers.
Exactly,
it's a quadcopter.
It is the smallest electric vertical takeoff and landing machine in the world. the smallest electric vertical takeoff and landing machine in the world.
It's called the Captivator.
It's called
the Cartivator.
The Cartivator. Okay. Obviously developed by SkyDrive. And I mean, if you're someone who flies drones, I'm sure this is kind of you know this look. You know, in terms of the balance of the propellers there. So basically, you are late for a meeting.
You can go in the air.
Charlie, just go in the air.
No, Okada.
Don't bother sitting in traffic. Don't bother, it literally rises. And what I like about it is, like, it rises vertically straight up, like a helicopter type, and then you're good to go.
So wait, does this thing have wheels?
Well, I can imagine so, because they define it as a car.
So it's a car.
Yes,
so
they define it as a car.
Road.
So you realize on the sides there where the propellers are going to be folding into.
Yeah.
When you look at the grooves on the sides there, you can see where the propellers are going to be folding into. And I mean, this is, and you can see the workers celebrating on the side, because it's so innovative.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen these in videos, TVs, I mean, TV movies and things like that. But it's nice to actually see it happening. And this is something that was tested, like, I think on Monday or so.
Okay.
So this is literally very close to production level. And very soon, these are the vehicles that are going to be made available for you if you need to move anywhere or to go anywhere.
I think we should get a couple of them here.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, considering all this traffic.
Assignments.
I can imagine that, like, you're going for an assignment as a new person. This is going to be your vehicle.
Yes,
you just fly home,
it's just
fly
the coolest
to work.
thing ever.
If you are a business executive and you need to get to the office or you need to get to some meeting someplace, just hop on into your Cartivator and boom, you're gone. It's that simple. And for me, it's just nice to see, and some of these innovations coming into. I mean, they have a car. So there's one that's a car actually, where you literally drive to a location. You drive to a location, right, and then you are taken through a couple of steps. Whereby, they'll tell you what your flight plan is, where you're supposed to fly. So you drive sort of to a location, and then they show you where you're supposed to fly to, and things like that. And it's really exciting times for me. And it says a lot about how people have used the COVID downtime to actually work probably twice as much with regards to innovations, with regards, changing the face of technology. And I can only imagine what's going to happen between now and December, because if these are the things that we're seeing, imagine, this is like literally when just a couple of countries have lifted their bans on movements and things like that. Imagine what will happen in probably 2 months, in November. What sort of innovation is going to be? Because everybody's going to be rushing, because the thing is, it's getting to the Christmas season. There's going to be a lot of spending. So you need to be putting some of these things into the faces of consumers.
I wanted to ask a question. Okay, so considering, that COVID has given us a certain thirst,
right?
And maybe thirst is the word to use for all things online,
right?
Across, globally,
right?
How crazy is it going to get? Because now
it's very dangerous to start talking crazy, because if these are not crazy enough, I don't know what you define as crazy.
No, seriously.
And I think crazy probably would not be the best description. I think exceptionally brilliant. I will go with exceptionally brilliant, because these are things that sometimes you dream about, in sci-fi movies and things like that only CGI is able to actually make happen, and I mean, you are seeing these things happen for real. So, and for me, it's humbling, especially with what Google and Apple have done so far in terms of, the help fighting against COVID. Even though they are pushing each other to develop the best tech, you can see also some levels of collaboration as well happening. And it's very heartwarming to see some of these things. We talked a couple of weeks about collaborations between Microsoft and Samsung and Google and Samsung. Apple has been doing their own collaborations on the side as well. There are so many bits and pieces happening.
Yeah.
So many parts are moving. So many levels of collaboration just to make the tech much better. And it's really, really interesting to see this on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I don't know if crazy is the word, but it's for me as a tech enthusiast, as a tech journalist. For me, it's really, really encouraging to see some of these innovations happening. We've talked about a 4K projector, laser projector.
It's unbelievable.
When did we ever think that we're going to see that? You go to some hotel where there's an event, you see someone shifting some projectors,
to make
literally carry the projector to the wall, just put it there,
dump it in front of the wall,
and that's it. It's in 4K resolution.
You don't have to worry about people walking in front of it.
Yeah. Please move. You don't have to worry about that. It's literally right there by the wall. You watch 4K resolution, all your graphics and things. If you are watching a movie with a family, everything is in proper resolution. You can see everything as it was meant to be seen. Look, there are so many things happening, so many changes. All these fitness trackers and things like that we are seeing, all these other things that are sort of being introduced into your life to make your life much better. I think it's incredible. But then when all is said and done, I think we also have to be minded that these technologies are just enablers. They just are supposed to make things much easier. The one-on-one connection, you can't replicate. Assisting someone with something you can't replicate. Being there for someone you can't replicate. I don't know if that is tech. I don't know if that is whatever, but sometimes I think that we do sometimes get a bit ahead of ourselves in terms of getting wowed by all the technology. I think that no matter how wowed we get, I think it's important that we stay grounded and understand that connection with other people.
We're still humans.
We're still humans. And we need to understand that these technologies are just to enable us communicate better, touch base better with each other, and connect better with people around us and things around us. If you're at home and, for example, your fridge sends you a message that you've run out of milk, it's just enabling you to live a better life, because then you wake up the next morning knowing that you have to stock up in terms of being at home. So these are just enablers. They just enable us to have a better life, and I just really wish that we would see it as that.
What would you like to see from Apple?
What would I like to see from Apple? That's a very tough question.
Considering that in just a few weeks they are doing...
they are going to have their event in just a few weeks, and we'll be updating viewers. We'll definitely bring you all the updates from the Apple event, as we've done with Samsung and Huawei. I know we're going to definitely see the iPhone 12. As to what exactly I expect from it, it remains to be seen. I've seen what the 11 Pro Max is able to do, and it's incredible to see what Apple is going to become next. I know there's going to be, a new series of iPhone 12 devices. I know there's going to be another iteration of the Apple Watch. Currently, we have the Apple Watch 5. The difference between that one and the Apple Watch 4 was just basically on-screen display. Your screen just remains on. So I'm just wondering what else they're going to do with it. I know we're definitely going to see something with the iPad, because we have the iPad Pro now. They're going to obviously improve on the functionality. The Apple has done quite a bit with the Mac and the Mac Mini and all these other desktop solutions that they have. I'm more excited about what they're going to do with regards to mobile, what the next phase of mobile is.
Looks
because remember, Samsung is pushing the agenda of changing the form factor. Basically, the rectangle that we have now is the most prevalent form factor in terms of phones. Samsung is trying to change that. They have the Z Flip, which is like a flip phone, but then and then they have the Z Fold 2, which opens into a tablet and then closes into a phone. So I'm just wondering what Apple is going to do next in terms of changing the narrative. So it's exciting times, and we'll definitely be bringing everybody up to date as and when it happens.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Philip Kofi Ashon is the host of Citi Trends on 97.3 Citi FM, and also the head of TV production here at Citi TV.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.